everyone, and welcome to this week's episode. I'm Dr. Salima. This week, we are going to be talking about what to expect 1 year after a hysterectomy. So sort of to recap, about a year ago, I ended up with a hysterectomy. To backtrack a little bit, I was actually pregnant with baby number 5 and was having just a lot of spotting. And when I went in for an ultrasound, they found a very large mass, which basically a year and a half ago, prior to that, I did not have. So long story short, they thought it could be a fibroid because clinically I was prior to this having a lot of heavy bleeding, which is a symptom of a fibroid. But the fact that it grew so large was a bit of a concern, and it made my pregnancy high risk. And within a short few weeks, I ended up miscarrying, and it then came down to, what are we gonna do? And I opted for a hysterectomy, take it out. I was done having kids because I do already have 4. And good news is it was just a very large fibroid. So the type of hysterectomy that I had was, it wasn't an open, it didn't cut me down the middle. It was with 4 small incisions. So the healing from that was very, very quick. I thought it was better than my C-section, which was actually an opening and a scar. And I mean, you can see if you looked closely to where the little incisions were, where the trocars went in. But other than that, nothing. All right. So now that it's been 12 months since my surgery, which is crazy because I think about everything that's happened in my life in the last 12 months, it feels like it's been longer than that. But where do I stand? How do I feel? And that's what this episode is about. And I can tell you, I get a lot of DMs about this because people will randomly find my YouTube and be like, my other episodes, and be like, so what is it like now? And so, I will wholeheartedly tell you the best thing about this is that I no longer have a period. So I only had my, uterus taken out. My ovaries are still in place. So the hormones are still there, but I don't get a period, which is amazing. I mean, think about it, from the age 12 up until last year, which was, I was 42 years old, every month for about 6 to 7 days I was menstruating, and it was awful. And the last year of it was god awful. I was having very heavy periods. So it's amazing. Like the whole month goes by and I'm like, ooh, I can go on vacation. I can do things. I can go swimming. I don't have to worry about like packing pads and tampons, etc. So from that perspective, hands down, if you're contemplating getting a hysterectomy for, fibroids and you're done having kids, not having a period is a big reason to get one. Number 2, the second most common question I get is, does it impact your sex life? And, I had read so many different things from like, it stays exactly the same, to it got better, to it got worse. And I'm obviously reporting to you on my personal, perspective that it's actually great. It's actually the same, if not better. I mean, it really depends on who you talk to. If you talk to my husband, he thinks it's like fantastic because there is no time of the month where it's like, don't touch me. So, that part is great. The third most common question I get is any like urogyne issues, meaning like any bladder issues, sorry. And when you think about it, your uterus is a very large organ in very close proximity to your bladder. So your bladder is, spent all these years close to the uterus. What happens if you take that large organ out? And I was worried, like, am I going to have bladder leakage problems? And no, everything is fine. No issues in that department. And then finally, the fourth common question that I get is my mood. How is my mood? So, I have not gone through menopause because my ovaries are still intact, which means if you talk to my husband, he'll tell you his opinion. Maybe I should do an episode with him on it because it would be quite comical. But for me, I mean, this last year, I've also been seeing a therapist. I feel like things are getting better. My mood, I feel, is probably the same. if you ask him, I don't know, I'd be curious. He's probably like, I know he's probably frustrated because before he'd be like, you PMS for a week and then I would get a period and then he'd be like, aha, I knew it. Last week you were upset because of blah, blah, blah. And now he doesn't get a period to sort of like justify him. You know, like, aha, there's no aha moment. So he's kind of like, you know, what's going on. But no, I feel like my mood hasn't really changed all that much. I will say because my hormones are still active, at least I feel like they are, I still actually do get like bloated and the breast tenderness, and maybe my mood swings the same, I don't know, but you know, I feel like something is coming, but then it never comes. The one way I can tell that I'm still sort of PMSing is that I weigh myself, and I do notice that I still gain like 3 to 4 pounds right around the time that I'm PMSing. So to me, that's the only way I can tell. But I still love not having a period. So it's all in all amazing. I'm making this video out here for people who have thought about getting a hysterectomy, who are done having kids. Again, this is just my personal sort of blog here, video, sharing with you that, you know, if there's one piece of advice that I have for you, it is don't be scared. Get it done if you're thinking about it. Because for me, I was forced into it because I was like, it's a mass. We didn't know if it was malignant or not, blah, blah, blah. But had someone told me it was just fibroids, I probably would have pushed myself. You know, I was anemic already and having heavy menstrual cycles. I think I would have been too scared for the surgery. And probably it was one of the easiest, you know, and I've only had 2 other surgeries, which are my C-sections, easiest surgery that I've had. And general anesthesia was awesome. I was really scared of general anesthesia and actually had no issues at all. It is exactly what other people described it to me. I went down for a really long nap and I woke up and I'm like, oh, we're done. That's amazing. So that is it for this episode. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to post it in the comment section. I always look forward to your likes and comments because I like to interact with you. Let me know if you found this helpful. And of course, if you want to find me anywhere, you can also find me on Instagram at Dr. Salima. Until next week, adios.